All right, after we're done checking your answers, let's actually solve some problems where you have to find the missing side. Go to the next page. To solve a right triangle means, and eventually we will be doing all of that, find all of the missing sides and angles. For today, we will focus on only finding the sides. So, one thing that you really have to remember, anything that you do, is always calculator in degree mode. Now, finally, in this section of this unit, we will be rounding. So let's just say that it's always going to be, unless specified otherwise, 2 places. So round to the nearest hundredth for all the problems that involve SOHCAHTOA problems. Okay? Maybe let's write SOHCAHTOA at the top. So now, the first example. This is not a special triangle. It's not 45-45. It's not 30-60. I don't have any other sides to use Pythagorean theorem. That's how I know I'm going to use SOHCAHTOA, because it's 70. The first thing that you always have to decide, like from the angle that's given to you, which sides do we have? And what I mean by that is, am I going to be using sine, cosine, or tangent? So what people find helpful sometimes is they label what sides they have in relation to this angle. X is the hypotenuse, so I've got the H, and this is the adjacent side. So is this sine, cosine, or tangent? And this right here, sine, means opposite over hypotenuse. Cosine means adjacent over hypotenuse. Tangent is opposite over adjacent. So I have A and H, so that's going to be cosine. So what you do is this. You write cosine of 70 equals, and then you write the fraction, something over something. 15 over x. So that's our trig equation. That's what this is called. Now to solve this, we have to get this x by itself. So we're going to multiply by it. X times cosine of 70 equals 15. And we're going to treat cosine of 70 as just like a number in solving this equation. So what you do is you divide by cosine of 70 on both sides. This side cancels. And we have x equals 15 over cosine of 70. And you could actually just type this into your calculator all at the same time. But I want to show you that cosine of 70, if I was to type it in, cosine of 70 is just simply 0.342. That means it's just some decimal that we're working with. But don't change it to a decimal. Just type in this whole thing. 15 divided by cosine of 70. The parentheses at the end are totally optional. If you hit enter, make sure you actually get, can you see this? 43. And now how would we round this if I want 2 places? 0.86, very good. 43.86 for x. So this is equal 43.86. When you're giving me your answers, please make sure you include both. This is actually more important to me because here I can see, okay, you knew how to solve it, you divide it. Because let's say your calculator was in the wrong mode, it would give you the wrong decimal. This would be correct, but the decimal would be the wrong answer. Let's just finish these 2. So now, I have this angle right here. Take a second to decide what would you use, sine, cosine, or tangent. What do you think? Sine, because we've got the side that's opposite and the hypotenuse. So your equation would look like this. Sine of 48 equals, and then you write your fraction, x over 28. This is actually a little bit easier. We have less steps, because how do we get x by itself? We multiply by 28 to make sure x is by itself. So your answer will be 28 times the sine of 48 equals x. And now we just type this into your calculator. 28 sine of 48 The times is optional on the calculator. It's going to know to multiply. My calculator gave me 20.808 blah, blah, blah. So how do we round it to 2 places? So it's going to be 20.81 equals x. So both of these would be necessary for your answer. All right, last one. So by process of elimination, you probably can think of what's going to be. We did cosine, we did sine. That's going to be the tangent. Let's confirm. Here's my angle. This is the opposite. This is the adjacent. Some people right away also label that that's the hypotenuse. That's not even given to us just yet. So it is tangent. Tangent of 25 equals x over 18 multiply by 18. So 18 times the tangent of 25 equals x. Type it into your calculator. 18 tangent 25. I got 8.39 for x. And that would be our answer. All right, what I would like, we're going to skip the inverse trig ratios for now. We'll do that tomorrow. The inverse trig ratios are used to find the angles, but what I want you guys to do is try this practice right here, these 3 questions where you're simply given a sign of an angle and you have to round it to 4 decimal places. So that means take the sign of 42, hit enter. So this one comes out to be 0.6691. Okay. So do the same thing for part B and C.